you would think everybody's like on the same journey, same level, but it's not. I was in the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm planting watermelons, different things. You know, in my
Oh,
garden. Like,
all right.
so I bought a watermelon. And watermelon was like $20. I was like, damn, they going up, man.
You better
And
get
then
them
it wasn't,
seeds
listen,
and
it
plant
wasn't even
some.
that sweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I got it because my wife had asked me to get one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was telling the lady in the cash register, I had just planted some. Lady behind me, looked like she's about 58. Said, you planting? I said, yeah. Said, you planting watermelons? I said, yeah. I said, what with the seeds? She
What?
said, you talking about the seeds that be in your mouth? And
That you spit out
I said, yeah.
and spit on the,
And so she said, if you plant,
Mm-hmm.
that's where these watermelons come from. And I couldn't believe it.
And she didn't know
And
that.
she, I said, yeah, seeds,
Oh
apples, where you
my.
think get the apple tree from? And she was like, you know, that makes sense,
Oh my
right?
goodness.
But that's why I say you would think everybody knows a lot,
Yes,
but you
that's
never know.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
but
shame, but that's
it just
wow.
tripped me out. But you know, like I say, she might grew up in a very well.
She just got it just pops up at the grocery.
Yeah,
They
I
got
told
them
I
in
said back in the day we
factories.
used to get the reef for the weed, and we used to take the seeds and plant them
Mm-hmm.
in a little flower pot, and in the backyard we growing up. And I told her, I said, God gave, I said, just like the man, he got the seed in his body, man and woman, that's the baby.
Oh well, happy
So,
420 day. He mentioned the seeds. Just want to let you know, happy 420 day. Dogons contributed that particular plant from their planet, Sirius. They've owned up to it. They've said it.
okay.
I didn't look for it. It came to me. And that it was supposed to help you elevate and alter your thinking so that you would be able to be receptive of the messages that they would be sending
Okay.
to us on this planet.
And what you say was the plant?
The plant marijuana,
Oh, for real?
cannabis.
Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and also because today is 420 day, which if you ever hear the phrase 420 friendly, that means that they don't mind that if you smoke weed or if you're okay with it because it's very medicinal.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, back in the day, we used to plant. We used to grow a lot of stuff. My grandfather had garden, apple trees, pear trees, fig trees, grapevines,
Mm,
collard greens.
You talking about in DC?
Yeah, in D.C. in his
Oh,
backyard,
so
growing up. My
friends of
grandma
mine
had
said
a
they
big
used to.
pantry, and she would take the peaches and peel them and put them in the jars, all that. And I got like a big backyard, and I'm gonna
Peace.
try
Thanks
to
for
pick
joining
up
me. One
some of them
love.
ways. You know what I'm saying? Um, but like I said, I was amazed that she didn't know that you plant out there. Yeah, that's what we
Can I
see.
can
Can
I
you
say
jump in
something
there?
about some seeds? Okay, so seeds from back then compared to because very little of them have seeds now. I believe was it you that said that they don't have male trees? They don't have any female trees anymore. Well, somebody was telling me the other day
I want to hear.
that again because I didn't know nothing about this what he was talking about. But I'm just gonna stick to the seeds. Seeds from back in that day, and just grow some of what's just say that you have a seed. Some of what's going on today. That's like drinking wine from back in the day, or having a hard drink. Somebody said grain. I say Hennessy. Wine and Hennessy. Whole different effect as far as the potency.
Right.
You know, and there's really a whole industry that.
That really, I believe, come from what they put in. 'Cause, wine comes from grapes.
Okay.
Then you got like the heavy apple, that white apple. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I
Um,
believe it's all coming from some sort of a grain or seed or something like that. Like what's that? Tequila comes from agave.
yeah. I mean, I'm just
Hmm.
saying, yeah, I'm not sure. But
No, it does.
okay, yeah.
Hmm.
So that's how it's supposed to be. But nowadays, everything ain't what it is. And now they even saying they got fake seeds.
That's true.
All
I
this
can. I
stuff.
can.
You know what
I
I'm
ain't gonna
saying?
say it's true because I don't know, but I can hear that. I can see that as being the potential. I mean, they making artificial babies. I mean, not artificial insemination
Uh huh.
situations.
Yeah, and they got you call chemtrails. They say soil is not the same as it was 20, 25 years
Oh
ago.
yeah, they
You know,
raped the
because you got
soil
that
so
lumen
much,
and all that stuff falling.
and all the minerals have been stripped from just
Yeah,
constantly.
so
Mhm.
and even they put pesticides on stuff. You know, I had an
Mhm.
apple and took a razor blade. I'm
Mhm.
scraping off glass, apple, right?
Mhm.
And it's all on the sheet. I said, hey, I just killed it.
Yeah,
But if I was like that apple,
you would have
eat it,
been
all that stuff
ingesting
was
all of that.
all that in
Mhm.
there. And
Mhm.
I even seen a guy on YouTube. He had strawberries he was selling, right?
Mhm.
And he had a lot of green ones. He took some spray paint and sprayed them on spread and let them dry.
I've actually seen that there are some factory situations, some Asian place or something
Yeah,
that where they had all these apples. I don't know how they ended up with no skin on them, but that they were dunking them and putting skin on them.
yeah,
So that may mean the whole thing is fabricated. You know,
yeah.
applesauce formed
And the
into.
rice, they was making rice. There's a whole lot going on, man. You gotta try to do the best you can do what you put in your body. What you put in your body is going to determine this pioneer thing, spiritual journey.
Okay.
You gotta watch everything. You can't just trust people.
Well, let me say this about the body because I learned something. Again, I'm on the 420 thing. Okay, I'm just
Explain the
sharing.
420 to the people that
Okay,
don't know what it is.
420, it's just a code word for marijuana. But, the more I thought about the 420 thing, like today is 420. So it's really like Dogon Day, right? And then I think another day or two, we have Earth Day, So I'm thinking that 420, we should be calling it Dogon Day. We have another day that's called Earth Day coming up. But I'm thinking it has something to do with some numbers in the sky, sort of skyscape, sort of sky dome, things that we're not paying as much, most folks are not paying as much attention to. We got all these rockets with red glare going up in the sky. And anyway, what I was saying about Dogon, and they gifted it to this planet for the purpose of staying in connection, like telepathically able to receive things. Because you know how we say we have downloads? That's something that sometimes induces the state of the brain wave that would put you in a receptive mode.
Okay.
So I'm saying, now let me also say a caveat. All these other drugs that are being invented, that hallucinogens, and they call them drugs, whatever, mushrooms, all these things alter our perception to a certain degree for us to be able to be in touch with the other sides of ourselves, the depths of ourselves. Like Lewis Carroll talking about the Alice in Wonderland thing, going down the rabbit hole. And apparently he was a user of hallucinogens, mushrooms, or whatever.
And then you got some people just do it naturally.
Some people go there naturally.
And them people back in the day, probably still doing, they would put them in the nut house saying that something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Because I talked to this young lady. She's
schizophrenia.
You know what I mean? And yeah, but
that's a multi-dimensional app. She's actually tuning into multi-dimensions and not recognizing that where the vertical and horizontal.
Yeah, later on she found out. Right now, it's very intuitive. She knows back then that people, they would just put a bad name on it.
Right.
Crazy town. Wrong.
Okay. So she was able to get comfortable with it because that's what they do. They make you uncomfortable with your gift and your talent like it's a curse versus it being a gift. But what I'm saying is that, okay, so you can get into this elevated state of mind and become receptive or you're able to pierce more easily now than ever the veil. So you can actually start, your eyes will begin to be able to see things. Your ears will begin to be able to hear things. Now that's it in the state where it came, because it's no longer in that state. We have GMOized it, the yin to where it's seemingly all pharmaceutical grade that comes out of those laboratories and those growing spaces where they have control or influence over, in my mind, but now they got these people talking about organic, strains of things. I don't know if they're heirloom strains of things, but anyway, I'm just saying that the Dogon Day, 420 Day, is also a day where we're having what's called a planetary parade. The planetary parade has five different planets that are showing up today, showing themselves. And to me, it's almost like a that when you put when you have your Olympics, right, and you put the people up on the podium, and you got gold and bronze and silver. It's to me, it's like the lineup of the winners. These are the people that have been able to show up for us. We're receiving those energies very high right now. They're very highly influencing us as far as planetary energy. They're all in our vicinity. They all dropping by. They're in our neighborhood. Oh, we in the neighborhood. We're just gonna drop by because it's also getting ready to come up on Mother's Day. On Mother's Day, they all usually show up. And this is what I talked about last year. It's almost like a family reunion. At that point, for that reason, that's the energy I spoke about last year. But it's also that planetary parade starting today of those five planets: Mars, Saturn, Neptune, the Moon, and let's see, it's on here.
Say Mars, Moon, Neptune.
Yep, Saturn, and one more. I think it's Venus. Yes, Mars, Venus, Neptune, Saturn, and the Moon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I really feel like, oh, I'm out. Okay, I'm sorry if I had. This doesn't sound like very fun. Oh, you know how people get nanny boo boo. I'm having a ball, boo. Having a ball, picking my brain for all these beautiful jewels to fall out, so, so that I can present my treasures at your pleasure. You can go back and listen at another time. But in any case, welcome to Eye on the City. I'm Precious Motherlove, and we are hosting live Heart Happy Hour from Eye on the City with Bralaw. And just in case you didn't know where we are, we're at Win DC Radio and GoGoRadio.com. Yeah. In the DC area.
Brand.
Okay. So yeah, and Earth Day is coming up. The full moon is coming up.
Yeah, the 23rd, Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, yeah. And we're doing a private invitation only event for the full moon. You got to be woke to step in the spot. Yeah. I'm tired of doing all these cheesy. I don't mean cheesy. Right. I'm starting to feel like I am like this person you said about the seeds and the watermelon. Uh-huh. I'm feeling like I'm doing elementary school, kindergarten stuff, and I'm ready to do. I may just have to break off into junior high and high school and college level stuff, and just recognize who my audience is. So this event on Tuesday is for those who have graduated high school and are in the collegiate or above level. And I've invited some folks that are doctors in their field of metaphysics. We'll see how how it all goes. I may even do a live from it for a small segment just to show some of what's going on as far as the kind of things that we'll get into. But right. I'm looking for energy workers who are just so aware of the state that we're in now. Since the solar eclipse, things have sped up to a turbo speed to me. The way things are going is happening quicker and quicker. As soon as I think it and the spirit, coordinates with me or puts my order into the universe, or however it is, I either speak it or I write it or however. Once, oh my goodness, so quick, so quick, quicker than I had ever seen happen in my life. And it's happening. It always had happened in my life, but just not as quick. Just like every night now I'm having dreams, even when I take a nap. And I'm waking up from these dreams like, wow, what an episode. Right. Because I'm flying, doing super heroic things, doing things like saving saving people, saving a whole
Well,
apartment
welcome,
building
welcome home.
complex.
I'm yeah.
You have dreams?
I think every time I close my eyes,
I know
I'm
that's
somewhere.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I've been having dreams like I be like fighting dreams like you
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh,
Sending
I gets my fight on.
fireballs and all that kind of
I
stuff.
gets my fight on. I ain't got
Yeah.
fireballs yet. Thanks for the idea. But I can jump and fly. I have flown jets, piloting them from the outside, helping them to land.
Okay.
I have also fought like I was a martial artist with, the highest level that I've ever seen. Skills. Right. I mean, yes, I am a trained martial artist, but what I saw come from me in my dreams, I would, it surprised me. But sometimes in day waking hours, I have surprised myself because I was working in this corporate company, and this guy he liked to scare people, he liked to pump people, and then and I say, hey, you shouldn't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Right.
Just I warned him like 3 times. He did it one time too many. My foot was up against his neck, right like this, and we locked eyes at that point. I said, "Dang, I told you." I did not know that was going to be my natural response. That was my natural response.
But he
had my foot on his neck. No, matter of fact, that broke us up.
Oh, okay.
That was my office romance. I normally don't do that. No, all my life, my grandma told me, you don't dookie where you eat.
Right.
And that is like, if it could be a bad idea. It could be a really bad idea. And I'm gonna have to disregard that phone number. Somebody was just calling. I'll disregard that. I'll talk to you afterwards, dear, if you're watching.
Right.
But yeah, so some of my body functions are, what do they call that? Muscle memory. Muscle memory. Or maybe even downloads from the Akashic records, because I've tapped into that to cornrow before.
Oh,
I didn't know how to cornrow, but I was like, ancestors, African lineage, or anybody who's ever in my past lineage, help me cornrow.
That's
and
good.
It came out so nice. But what I was talking about with the body is that the body can get high as well as the mind can get high. We have naturally in us called cannabinoid receptors. Cannabinoid receptor system is what we have. And so in that way, it's almost like we're designed to receive what the plant has to give. We are designed to receive it. Not to say that's the only way we receive it, but the body high is you getting high from you having the receptors that's in your belly. You have receptors in your stomach and receptors in your brain, and apparently, all through your body. And I'm not real sure about the specifics on that. My daughter's calling me. Sorry, daughter. I will call you right back. Okay. But yeah, so your body can get high from the receptors, from these cannabinoid receptors. So apparently they're working on, like, CBD affects the body high. It's more so like right now they have the sativa, the indica, and then they have the hybrids, the things that are, well, really everything's hybrid now. Nothing is like one all this or one all that. They're just higher degrees of that. Higher degrees of the sativa or higher degrees of the indica. And one is like a body high, or more so of a body high, and then one is more so of, I want to say, the brain receptor part of the high. So, and so it to me just sounds like, that is a plant that our body was built to receive the sacred essence of and coordinate what it has to offer, which is, right now they're saying chronic pain is one of the things it relieves, anxiety, calming people down, and increases your appetite. Munchies, right? But then they also say they put a plus, 3+, because they also found that it helps youth or children with anti-seizure, so that they won't be as, And I believe a lot of it has, wellness is in the mind. Wellness is in the mind. So wellness is how much you think, to the degree of it, the value you give it, the amount of attention you give, is how much of that it affects you. So if, and to this is me, I've seen people be healed just by their thinking, I'm healed. You've seen people have pain in a leg that's not there.
Yeah.
You've seen,
I've
phantom
seen a lot of
pains, phantom
research.
pregnancy.
Yeah.
This is all in the mind. Phantom diseases, placebo effect.
Right.
So it seems to me like, if our wellness starts in the brain, then if anything that's like this kind of medicinal benefit will be helpful across the board. For a long time, it became illegal back in the 60s because in the Vietnam War, these fighters out on the field, they were smoking and chatting it up with the folks. I don't know if they spoke the same language, but they were smoking together and chilling out and be like, nah, we don't want to fight. So what's that man, Hearst? He got mad, and he was like, because he also had a hemp industry sort of thing going on, and he didn't want to bastardize the industry. He wanted to, how MS or Microsoft, they got a lock on certain things. iPhone, they got a lock on certain things. He wanted to lock that market down, and with the government's help, or with some help from some big heavy hitters. Let's put it that way, financially influence people.
That's what it is. Like, remember back in the day, alcohol was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Until the government could put their hands on it and make some money from it.
Right. So now marijuana putting their hands on that. It's all about money.
Mm-hmm.
They want their cut.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about whether they care about your health.
Oh no! This country is very capitalistic because we buy a lot of things that's no good for you. McDonald's had to say, they had to actually post a warning sign that says that their food really has no nutritional value or something like that, or can cause this, that, and the other. Somebody showed me a picture of it.
I seen they got these burgers that they make thick, not even real burgers.
No nutritional value according to real.
Yeah, and then when
food,
they put that season,
make it taste just like it's real meat.
And then now, in China they got fast food restaurants. It's being ran by machines. They only have people.
Right. So that takes away the soul food, because soul food, the only way, you got to put the soul in it, right?
They doing too much.
But that's
I only eat McDonald's.
That's the thing. Once that industry, Beyond Meat came out, all these different types of imitation meat came out. That's just them opening up a new lane for something they was already doing. They saying it's plant-based. Who's checking that? And after it's that much processing to it, it may have some nutritional value when it first is.
But you got to realize, you got to look up the definition. What is plant-based? Base, that's the key word. Might not even be. They say plant-based. We didn't say it was plants. We said it was plants-based. So you gotta do your research.
Something they grew. You gotta do your research. It grew from something.
Oh. Like I said, I seen them make rice out of liquid. I seen them make cabbage out of liquid. And I seen them make them burgers out of liquid.
This TikTok kind of stuff, you seen it?
Yeah, people had their cell phones recording, and they put it on TikTok. That's why another thing they should have get ready to get rid of TikTok. But I believe that. I believe it when I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, remember, different countries weren't allowing other countries in on their social platform. Like, there's a different Facebook for UK. We don't, there are some crossovers. I've seen some crossovers, but for the most part, what you get when you're over there is not what you get when you're over here. There's a whole different screening. It's a screening difference, approval levels. Certain things they'll approve to be visual. Facebook has Facebook jail if you do something that's out of their standards. So same way over there. but it just won't make it that far. You think it's up there. A lot of my stuff, I be thinking it's up there, but I don't know where it goes to.
Right.
And even though I
You don't
might pay
control
for
none of it.
something, I was looking at, when I first started my Heart Happy Hour. We're on season 5 now. We're on the 5th season, and I'm gonna give you some background on that in a second. But when I first started, I was getting good views and good numbers and stuff, and I thought I could transition that over to YouTube, 1,000 people or whatever. And then I saw, that there were people that were doing different things like paying for views and stuff, and I want to do that, but it just seems to
Yeah,
be
I don't
like,
do that. I never did that. You reach so many views, and they say you can pay, get more, and get finished.
Well, so far I haven't done that, and I'm hoping that everybody that does sign up and does like me is subscribing. Oh, like, subscribe, and share. I'm hoping that folks are subscribing because they like something about me, and not that I have to go out there seeking folks to come in. And I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to grow that, but like, subscribe, and share if there's anything that you find appealing and informative in the content of what you receive here at Heart Happy Hour, One Love and Wellness. Okay, so there's a few folks here, but by that logic, cocaine is fun, so we should do it. No, the hallucinogens and things like cocaine and stuff like that, they alter your brain to the place where you can actually do a spiritual trip. So that's what I'm talking about, more so than anything.
You can hear voices when you cocaine. Back in the day when I was younger, I think I was in like my mid-20s. I did some cocaine, and I heard a voice. Heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Went out in the living room with nobody, and I know I heard the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. That's why I knew. I said it's time for
So
me to
if
quit.
we knew back then that it was spiritual, see, we didn't know that we could have tapped into some spiritual essence back then.
Yeah, but it's addictive. You don't want to get into nothing that's
because we're thinking about it for fun. If we're thinking about it for sacred purposes, you know how they do ayahuasca. You know how they do these other hallucinogens, mushrooms and stuff like that. They're regulations.
Have you doing something strange for a small piece of change. Leave that.
Well,
it's just like, how many people you know that can just do drugs for certain things?
I think all those drugs are, most of those prescription drugs, you're going to have withdrawal symptoms from those if you don't take them, which is why the doctors say take as prescribed, because if you don't take it like that.
But we're talking about cocaine.
I'm talking about all drugs. I'm talking about any of those drugs that you can have a withdrawal effect from. That's all. But the coke side of it,
get you paranoid.
If you had, just like you got alcohol, that first off, you can get sloppy, pissy drunk. You can get sick from it. You can get alcohol poison. You get all these other.
You gotta look at alcohol too. Alcohol is like lower. You understand?
Low vibration. It lowers your vibration.
You say a lower vibration, but you got uppers.
It's
and
spirits.
You got downers. Uppers is drugs that energy.
Okay.
Then you got drugs that will bring you down.
Uh-huh.
You understand what I'm saying? And alcohol, they used to call that speedball. Take some cocaine.
Okay.
Then speed. Then you drink alcohol.
Something to cool you down. Okay.
Yeah, they used to call that speedball.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even put cocaine in the same category. Alcohol.
Well, I know that let's say comeback or whatever, when you put the cocaine in some alcohol or whatever, it sloughs off all the other stuff that's on it. And I'm just, I don't know the recipe. I just know I've seen some chemical reactions occur when I was watching somebody. They had a beaker of it and they put alcohol in it. So I'm sure it synthesizes it in your body in some ways where those two relate together in like a chemical reaction. You call it speedballing, but I'm just saying that's alchemy. You doing some
I just tell
alteration
on there that talk about cocaine. Me, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, but that's because of the experience that you had. And that experience was not monitored by. You weren't monitored by a medical.
Just hold on. I ain't hear nobody ever that I knew, and I knew a lot of people that used cocaine had no good experience. They started out, they liked it because it make them do whatever, right? Then you'll get to that stage, just like people drinking coffee. People start drinking coffee and make them do stuff, and they get to that state. They drinking coffee, waking up on the bed, because after a period of time,
and it does something to your stomach.
You gotta bring yourself in and out of everything.
Caffeine is a drug.
Everything is a balance. Everything is it's like a yin and a yang, up and down, and you can't.
They use chocolate to,
you know what I'm saying?
They use chocolate like it's a drug. Sugar is a drug.
Yeah, sugar is the number
sugar
one
is
drug
a stimulant. You know,
that's sugar is.
But I'm saying just because of the experiences that we have been seeing in our past of how people have bastardized some of these drugs that could be. I mean, people in those countries where coke comes from, you know, they sit there, they put it in their mouths. They use it for medical purposes. They apply it for medicines. They're not bastard. Well, people do get hooked on them, but what I'm saying is that they have a medical and a real pharmaceutical value to it. So it's up to us to utilize that information and that knowledge to tap into what the good side of that is. We've seen what the bad side is. Now, what's the good side of it? The good side is that it comes from a plant, and it can provide certain medical, medicinal, or pharmaceutical
Let me tell you something
values.
about cocaine, right? When it first came out, it come from the coca plant.
Right.
And when it first came out, they used to put, not when it first came out, because it's been out for 1,000 years.
When the epidemic was hitting the streets.
I'm talking about here in the street, like back in the, I say the 40s, they used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And that's how they would get people addicted
on it.
to, yeah. So,
but see, that's them using all the bad sides.
That's very addictive. So what I'm saying is,
what you call that?
If you don't have a strong will, which mostly people don't, I wouldn't recommend that you mess with anything that's addictive.
Right.
Feel me?
Yeah, people have addictive personalities, and they'll, you know, my cousin and I talked the other day. Me and a girlfriend went over to visit, and she talked about, you know, people with addictive personalities. They're, you know, they can be addicted to food, addicted to sex, addicted to TV, addicted to.
The more melanin you have, the more addictive you become to anything. Because melanin is attracts.
Addicted to people.
You know what I'm saying? It attracts versus other races of people.
Melanin.
So, yeah, so this is like the sunlight. I'm sure whatever we do it more of. That's why when you look at sports, athletic people,
when we dance,
we dominate. Dance, music, anything.
AI is on our hindparts. They are making artificial intellectual musical.
There's some
pieces,
some BS.
But I'm hearing that it's got some good stuff.
That's some BS that the other side wants you to think.
Capitalism.
Because if man created AI, you understand what I'm saying?
Well,
can't nobody outdo God.
Or did they? Because who created man?
can't nobody outdo
Akashic intelligence.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, man, who created man? 72 different extraterrestrials created.
Okay.
You know,
well,
from what I believe.
But the technology that was available or is available now was available before, and to even higher degrees. If there have been so many
look at all of
UFOs or
no, but I'm saying, if you look at our society and they digging up in the ground, finding all this stuff, having pyramids, they don't know how they back. It's a loop. All these nations came up, fell.
And they just build on top of them and build on top of them, build on top of them.
So they say it's nothing new under the sun. It ain't. It just for some people that got the knowledge, kept it from the ones who did.
That's
make
the
them
other
appear
thing.
Like God. You understand?
Knowledge. You know, from the biting from the tree of knowledge, the tree of good and evil, the tree of light and dark. I added the light and dark because of the good and evil. But the knowledge that we have now, are we, that's the whole thing. Are you using it for good, or are you using it for not good or evil?
But
Yeah.
who determined what's good?
Okay.
You
I
understand what I'm
can't
saying?
say what's good for you, and you can't say what's
Right,
good for me.
because what I'm trying to say is, you got people out here that saying that there's no bad, there's no good, because everything has a
It
purpose.
just is.
Everything has a purpose.
It is what it is, huh?
You made a gun, right? A gun can save your life.
As
a gun
well.
can take your life.
Yes.
You know, because the Creator made all. Feel me?
Okay.
So why would He make something that's not a purpose? And a lot of times you can a lesson. You need to be taught a lesson. You'll go through stuff, and hopefully you learn a lesson, and you won't do it again. Like, go ahead.
There's creative control. He allows us to have some creative control, but that's with the energies that we're given and the how much we learn about the science of self and how well we apply the things. All right, Philippians 4:8, chapter 4, verse 8 talks about whatsoever is good, whatsoever is right, whatsoever is admirable, whatsoever is true. These things, in the likeness of God, practice these things, apply these things. This is why that 4:8 solar eclipse was so personal to me, because the more these little blurbs keep coming to me, it's setting deeper and deeper into me that we are within that golden age. That to me describes the golden age. When you do these things and you practice these things, then you'll have the peace that surpasses all understanding, the peace of God. Okay, as a God, creating in these categories, in these lanes, doing the things that are right and good for all, not the way we've capitalized in the past. Win-win. If it's good for me, it's good for you. Let's be good to each other. Let's do the right things for the right reason. Let's say what we mean. Let's mean what we say.
Right.
That's where I am with it. To me, that's the golden rule. That's the key to the kingdom. Basically, that's what he's saying. The keys to the kingdom. I'm going to give, these are the keys. It's up to you to apply these keys to the right locks, to the right places for the right reason. Okay, so that's my motto now is, live in light of wanting to see more of the goodness of God. I sound so churchy on that note, but I meant that when I said that. Because I am a God, and I'm a goddess. I'm a God isness. I is a God. That's how I feel. There's some things that I'm learning and opening up to, that there's some new levels to. And that's what I was going to say when we said the keys and the secrets. And, because yesterday I went to the going home services of my mystery school teacher, Reverend Dr. Dorita Dixon. Right. So her homegoing service was yesterday. And so her students, we all got together, went to a repast together. And, I'd stirred up a bunch of questions and stuff with them. But what I was saying that to say is that, she instilled in us the thought that we should be spiritual heavyweight. And not be afraid to step out on those little notions and those little words that you hear, the whispering, the still small voice, not to be afraid of those things, because we all have so naturally tuned out some things that we can naturally tune back into. And so that's what, one of the things, many things. I was with her for like 10 years of her school, but I only went to class, 2.5, almost 3 years. Right. I was almost a graduate, but I mean, the school of life, school of hard knocks. I am sacred arts curator, and I have created my own lane and my own specialties. I feel very, very blessed to have had the tutelage and the mentorship and the folks like yourself that I run into, and I hope you're not offended, but I consider what you do like, an alchemist, a wizard.
Yeah, I heard you call me a wizard.
You heard me call you a wizard?
Yeah.
I was being nice by saying alchemist because that's kind of the same thing. It's just there's one has a good connotation and one has a bad connotation, you know. And in my mind, you're just someone who knows how to work with the energy, you know. And we like to stack those energies up,
Yep.
you know, like what we speak, this vortex, this the larynx, you know, the actual breath going past the chakra itself has value, has this vortex is very powerful, you know, the words, you know, the vibration, the colors, you know, certain sacred secretions from our person or from other people, like blood or spit or semen, or you know.
Yeah, whenever you speaking, you casting spell, whether you do it or not. Because
That part.
yeah,
That
you know,
part.
you just gotta learn words, pick the words you choose, use.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes being quiet can help you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the more you talk, not see,
Mm-hmm.
can't
Mm-hmm.
talk. Now, gotta use both sides. Here we go with that balance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, trying to learn. Somebody speaking something you don't know of. Sometimes this,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and what you don't want to take, don't worry about it. What you take builds you up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. You know, but by me knowing everything, words or spells,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? I pick and choose my words very
Wisely.
carefully.
Yes. Yes.
And I, you know, once you seen the light, once you became awake, you know, most of the stuff come around, you see right through it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't even
I
want to
see.
speak on it,
Ooh.
you know, and because the people you're speaking to will go over their head. You know, 100 people see this video,
Pearls to swine.
2 people get it. Do with that. You know
That
what
was
I'm
the
saying?
gold. That was the gold.
Yeah, so
Mhm. That's
it's
speaking of words, because gold, GOLD,
yeah.
is something that is
You
that
know
the
that-
excrement of God? I've heard that it
Which one?
said gold, GOLD, was
Say
the
it.
excrement of God. That's what I've heard.
I'm 80.
Right. Well,
You
I was saying it sounds like the word gold, GOLD, too.
know, uh-huh.
So we have these gold and gold related triumphs that you get a gold medal,
Right.
you know, for getting the highest award.
Yeah.
So
You got to set goals to elevate.
reach those
You know,
heights. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why I say words play a big part. Then speaking words, trick too, because like you can say good morning, and then you know about somebody died. Or, you know, and you got the same word sound, but it's spelled different.
But that don't mean it
feel
has a
me?
different energy, though. It
That-
doesn't
nah,
mean
it got the
has a
same
different,
energy.
because
That's why I say-
that's why I say top of the day.
And that's why I say have a strong end instead of saying have a good weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Why have to be weak?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes people will say things like,
They'll be like, it ain't
"Halo."
spelled the same. It sound the same.
Right, morning and
Look at this. I say having high.
grief.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
When people answer the phone, they say hello, right?
Yeah, or halo.
Yeah.
I say hi there.
Yeah. But a lot of people say hello. I ask myself that question. Why around the world? How many times reference hell every day when they answer that phone? So I say I'm gonna start saying heaven high instead of hell low. I said hell is low, heaven is high. So that's what it's about. You're giving stuff energy and not even knowing you're giving it energy. Everything is energy, whether you know it or not. So if you're saying hell low, you just put a bad spell on your conversation.
Well,
You understand what I'm saying?
How about this when I say, hey, have I said that when
Yeah.
you call? Because I'm trying my best not to start the call off with that hell energy, you know?
Right. So y'all get it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't, y'all won't.
Speaking of energy and the hell energy, okay, so the office of, what is that office? Orphans, is it? The office of death in PG? Office of orphans or something like that. If you die if somebody dies and you got to go to court about it, the place that you start is the Office of Orphans. Okay, so I have a pin from their office because I went there for my brother and for my father when they passed. I had to go take care of paperwork there. I had a pin from their office, and I refused to use it today. It's red and black, right? I refused to use it today because of what I was about to write. I did not want the energy from the ink from the office of taking care of your death paperwork to be on the documents that I was writing the information on. So again, when we're talking about working with energy, it's everything. It's the clothes you wear. If somebody gives you clothes, a car that you buy, if it formerly was involved in any accidents or anything that was with it that was bad about it, that energy is still there. Same thing for the person that you date. That person is connected to all these other people. That energy is still there. You just have to learn how to gauge, turn it up or turn it down when you're protective. Yeah, and you can use it and apply it in other ways. So the same thing, you can decide to put your protection on, or you can actually transmute it into something else.
And this is one of the ways that you can break a frequency of some stagnated energy. I got this right here. You can walk away in the house. I was going to talk about.
They don't like loud noises like that.
Yeah, they don't. And I would.
Woo, that's loud. But that reminds me, the police, they like to ride through the neighborhood and do their little sound. Whoop, whoop. I mean, I think that's part of, they trying, if you involved in anything, they're trying to break your attention off of whatever you was focused on and bring your attention to them, give them some more value, them some more credibility, give them some more views.
When they sit and have their lights on, right? Or they be in front of a 7-Eleven and the car don't even work, but just be a police vehicle. People ride and they keep going because it's you giving your energy attention to it. Or police there. They want to create fear, and that's the whole thing with police. I hope you know why was police force even created. You know that?
Yeah, slave catchers.
Yeah, after they beat slaves
to enforce.
Yeah, protect the other folk from the slaves. So that being said, I'm looking at all this stuff going on. We had to take our own energy and transmute it and use it for what we want to do. As long as you're going for what they want to do, you'll always be under. You'll always be fifth class, this class. But spirituality is taking your own energy, using it, and listening to the creator. You got straight, direct contact once you clear that pineal gland, and he talked to us. You know what I'm saying? And we got to go from that.
See, that's the other thing. Remember I talked about, and I think I may have mentioned it last time, that your wisdom teeth were created for the wisdom of your, like this particular area is, okay, so this is the upper room, right? So where your vocals is, that's going up to, that's the between the body and the upper room or the heavens.
Yep. Room. I'm thinking about
to the upper room.
You remember that movie Life, where Eddie Murphy told Martin Lawrence told Eddie Murphy, the upper room, man. You know the upper room. But go ahead.
Yeah, because there was a chickie baby up there in that upper room.
Yeah.
That he liked so much. But and that's how they got caught because of their casino games or whatever, their gambling games. So, but what I was talking about was in reference to the police, how so I have to skip over because I'm now remembering something else and then I forgot that. So when I was talking about the police and the fact that they get, breaking our concentration, and, I'm just saying, conspiracy theorists or not, whatever the case is, when they come through your neighborhood and they start making their sirens go, certain times of the morning, certain times of the evening, they're coordinating with certain energies that they're aware of, and whether they know it or not, it may be that they're just scheduled to do it. They may not be knowingly knowing what they're doing.
A lot
They
of them
just
don't.
know.
The
They
higher
just
up
know
be
they're
knowing.
doing something. Because police are also taught how to do in military telepathy.
Okay.
They're taught that. But what I was saying was the likes and views. I mean, this is where I'm going with this. Okay, the more we hear that siren, the more we think about them, the more real estate they get in our mind. Unless we train ourselves to, when we hear that, think about something else right away, something good. Use that for our good. That's like an alarm clock. That's like you can use that as an alarm to say, "Oh, I hear that. Now I'm going to think about the biggest blessing I could ever have, the best day that I would ever have, the best feeling I could ever have," and start associating it away from, separating it from what they want it to be.
Right.
Energized
You
towards.
got to be aware to even remember to do that.
Well, that's the thing. You got to be intentional. You got to pull your own thoughts together instead of being herded into the masses. You come out of that with self-love, attending to yourself first. So what I'm saying is that, okay, so if we start, the more we give them views and likes, like we give them influence over us. So now I'm saying take that influence back and use it on yourself so that you can use what they mean for our bad for our own good. Right. So if you turn it around and you make yourself the focus, like I'm not going to, just because every time I hear that whoop whoop, all shucks, it's time to tell myself something good. Tell myself something good. Right. What should my life be like? Whatever, something silly, something that's going to be easy for you to remember about yourself, to encourage yourself, to make sure that you are not allowing them the influence over you.
Stuff like you say, police don't exist in my reality, and make it an affirmation.
Or I'm invisible to the police.
Yeah, make it an affirmation and start saying it. You'll see an effect. You'll see effect. Mm-hmm. Trust and believe that.
Mm-hmm.
That probably went over a bunch of people's head. I do it on the daily.
So another thought that I was thinking about, because we're given all these cosmological things that are going on here lately, we're giving a lot more thought to them. We're being a lot more attentive to the energetic shifts. Right now, okay, so since the solar eclipse, like I slept through half of it. The first half, because I'll say for 4 hours, while the sun was doing its thing from the top of Mexico to up in Massachusetts. Well, this is how I felt. I felt like I had to take a nap after I had been watching the first 2 hours, and then I watched it, covering up my son, and then that part was over for that 4-minute period. So at like halftime, to me, at that 2 hour part, I went to sleep for the last 2 hours. Because I had a bunch of sinus pressure. You was up there watching for 4 hours? Well, I
was out in the backyard doing I did a ritual.
Okay. And then later that night we did. Right, that's me right there in front of your pit.
And then that night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I worked it. I guess that's probably why I was drained, because the next day
I
stayed in bed
it is very
9
draining.
o'clock that night.
It is very draining to do this kind of work. Yes.
Yeah. But it was all good, though.
But I'm saying take back the influence that they have. Anytime, any of these things that they're doing, they send out these sirens or certain information on our movies and things like that. It can have a effect if we allow it to, or we can block that effect. We can give it a karate chop, chop it out and apply our own, cut and paste. And apply our own message in that gap that we put into that information and apply it and make it a new app that applies to us. That's that deprogram, reprogram thing,
Right.
So we can take a lot more control. We're aware of the fact that we can take a lot more control, more so now than ever. So, Ashe. Hi, Heart Happy Hour family. My hand is tired. Let's see what you guys are talking about.
Face.
Okay. It says, okay. Somebody else says, we should. I don't know what you talking about. Bebop. Little Bebop. What's happening? You said we should? We should reprogram ourselves. Okay. Black power until we die. That's from Ali Hamoud. Ali Hamoud. What's going on here, family? Love plus art equals wellness is our podcast, Heart Happy Hour. We are live on Eye of the City. We are at gogo.com. Don't mind the fan. And we also have WinDC Radio.com in the house. So thank you for joining us, family. I appreciate you guys. We are here. I guess we only been here for the last 45 minutes. So we got a little bit more to go. If you want to hang in there with me, I appreciate you. And in the meantime, like, share, and subscribe. Let's see if there's anything else more I want to talk about. Oh, words.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the word pasture. You know, when you have cows out in the fields, they call that a pasture.
Like the green pasture, all that.
Right, but doesn't that sound like the word of the man that's in church, pastor? So if they trying to make us the herd, okay, and chattel us up into
that's what they do.
And herd us into the mindset, the mass media. So when I thought about that word, it really bothered me. I don't know if y'all hear me well, because I got sometimes the stuff is covered up and I don't even know that it be covered up. So let's see if I can get this another way. All right. Another way. There's going to be another way. This is another way to do it. Yay. So, but yeah, it's like the word pastor just sparked that thought for me to say, well, how would they apply that word in the human capacity? So, and I remember them calling us chattel. So if the pastor is herding the chattel up for the slaughter, because we have these energy vampires, right? We have these people sucking our energy, like all these holy days that we are, aligning up with. Well, guess what? Those holy days align up with cosmological activities. Full moons are guiding like tomorrow is Palm Sunday, right? The 2 days or day, when the start of the full moon comes.
Okay.
Tomorrow's not Palm Sunday, Passover. And so during Easter moves around because of the moon. The Chinese New Year's moves around because of the moon. A lot of the Jewish holidays are based on cosmological settings of the sun. They do sunrise services,
right?
So and we're not the average civilized or people in our civilization aren't looking up enough. I was watching something with Neil deGrasse Tyson, the space engineer. He interviews a lot of space people, and he expands thoughts on things that the average person doesn't really talk about, or that they're now opening up more to talk about, or even that he's actually an authority on to talk about. Because I love his brain. To me, intelligence is the new sexy. And it could be because of my age, because now I know
ugly people out there.
Ugly people, but I'm telling you, I'm finding more and more things about people attractive.
Yeah.
Because of their intelligence. Because of their intelligence. Mm-hmm. If they have done some time studying and they've applied themselves to their intelligence, then I see that as attractive.
Okay.
So, but we were at the table yesterday, and there's a lot of things that I wrote down to possibly talk about. But we were at the table yesterday with these spiritual Shah people, women and men. And I say shaman or Shah people because I believe they are all energy workers. They are all working with clients as healers in their lanes of what they do. Mm-hmm. Not everybody is doing the same sort of thing. Some people do Reiki.
Reiki healing.
Maybe Reiki and reggae got something to do with each other. I just said that together. What do you call those Freudian slips, right? So it seems to me like so I asked one of the engineers in our group because they all doctors. They all have their degrees in this world as well as degrees in the spiritual world. So I asked the one that has the engineering degree and actually does space stuff. He's into an agency, doing space stuff. I don't know what in particular, but I know he's brilliant. So anyway, so I asked him because Terrence Howard had talked about the flower of life. Terrence Howard had talked about our numbers not being based on these calculations not being correct, not being leaning our ladder against the right walls. Not having that correct means that at every increment, because you know how a ship, you in order to navigate the ship, you have to have certain coordinates. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have the right coordinates, you're always going to be off course. Mm-hmm. So I believe that off course thing has another reason, is another result from them keeping us from looking up on the regular. Our ancestors looked up all the time. That's how you navigate. That's what the GPS is about. Navigation is by the stars, right? So what I was saying about the sky cast and the sky matrix or sky, I never said that before, sky matrix. I just put that together. Okay, so the skyscape, the landscape, but the skyscape. If we were paying more attention to, what is in our cosmological, astrological, astronomical, actually, astrology and astronomy do not match. The science of the stars and the science of the zodiac does not match because the science of the stars shows you there are 13 months. There are 13 signs. And not every month is, well, they said 28 days, but not every month is the same length. That's why we have 31, 30, 28, 29, on the leap years, 29.
They changed it to fit them. They never gonna tell us.
It's throwing us off. Our course will always be off if we go by fallible information. So I asked this engineer, I says, is what Terrence Howard talking about, is that correct? Because he kept eluding the question, and finally down at the bottom of all that eluding, he finally says Terrence is basing his information on ancient information. It's not that we didn't have access to it. He's just bringing it out in the daylight, bringing it to our attention.
He got a patent number.
He got 97 patents. Mr. Terrence Howard he became smart. He made smart money moves. Money moves. That's what I see. That he learned how to cover his high pie. Because that's one of the things. And they tried to. Oh man, they be trying to strong arm him. IRS, all these different people trying to defer him from just the same way they did with Tesla, just the same way they did with all these other people who have patents for things that would be beneficial to the overall knowledge.
She said he took the patent,
capitalism,
got a patent and all that before he started talking.
Right. So they couldn't go back and
he said you got to be correct for they need to give you.
Allow it. Yes.
Yeah, so he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, as so far as as soon as because it's going to rock their system. Just the way that Black Jesus did. Well, supposedly should rock us because that foundation. That foundation to say that Black Jesus or all our saints were Black.
We already knew this, but we already knew this.
But if we knew it and we're not applying it, what the hell are we gonna do with it?
No, what I'm saying is, there are a lot of them being shocked now that they're coming out with proof. But this what you got to do. You just got to apply for you. You just sit there and say you the goddess, right?
Yeah.
So you're
okay.
applying.
So don't worry about the masses. See, this is what Heart Happy Hour is about. I want to show you what a happy heart looks like.
It's not worrying about it because we wouldn't be here talking about it. We doing our part just by doing this.
Broadcasting and being able to have conversations.
You understand? We plant seeds. When we gone, these videos when we still here. Just like I said, people asking me questions like I think elementary, right? And I'd be like, I gotta go back to this. But you gotta do whatever you sitting in front of at that time. Like the lady
each
didn't
one
know
teach
that
one.
Seeds.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't know seed grew tree.
Shut up.
No, I'm just saying, it blew me, but I'm saying that's where we at as a race of people. Everybody.
She was a melanated woman.
Yeah, she was a melanated black woman.
And she didn't look like a mongoloid or something in her face, like she had a little. She was slow or something.
Nah, I'll tell you off camera.
Was she touched? I know her. Oh Lord have mercy. Shut the front door.
The back door wide open.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Yeah, but no. See, what I'm learning is, like I said, you'll look at somebody, and you just give them the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I just expect certain people to know certain things, and I be talking to people, and I lose people quick, and I be like, you know what the chakras is? They be like, nah, what's that? But that's a whole nother thing I got to just, you feel me?
But see, let me say this. The words for things does not mean they don't understand because they don't know the words for things. Because some people have magic naturally. Some people have an affinity towards being sensitive
when I be explaining,
to their perceptions.
They might know some things, but if I'm explaining something to you and I'm talking about a certain conversation, a certain thing, you know, I'll be like, okay, ring this bell, right? It's gonna break the frequency. Now, if I'm talking to somebody that don't know what frequency is, I'm gonna lose them right there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when I be talking metaphysics stuff, certain people, I just a lot of times I don't even talk it. Because I know it's going, and then you gotta do a lot of explaining, and then when I had a buddy, he said, I'll be checking out your podcast, right? So you having some good, I like when you talk about the music. Yeah, but that other shit, I can't give it that.
Oh, speaking of music, I want to tell you about the Joe Clark story when you get a chance.
Okay, so we can do it right after this.
Okay.
He said, I can't give it that. I said, well, it ain't for you. You know, I ain't even go into it, but I wasn't gonna sit there and try to make him get it.
Yeah, what's for you is for you.
Yeah,
but, and if you have some things that appeal to him, that's good.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
And when the teacher is ready, the master will appear.
Right.
And when the master is ready, he will ascend into being able to, you know, do all kinds of things that one would never even consider before. The mind wouldn't have the mind to hold that radiant idea.
Yeah, so I just wake up, I don't even say, I don't like to say, I come out of dreams and I'm doing things in silence. I used to speak things, let people know what I'm doing. Now I do more in silence.
Well, that's the thing. I'm having it's a thin line for me right now because I really want to be able to share my knowledge, but I think I may have to go to a private audience to do that because there's certain things that I'm not feeling the level of comfort in releasing based on, you know, releasing pearls to swine.
Man, I'll be having people come on my page that I don't even deal with. You know, just trying to. This lady came to me, but she ain't come to me. And she see her. So, right? XIZ. Basically, call herself giving me a free read. And I never responded, right? Because one, why are you reading somebody that didn't give you permission?
You have to. You should. You should. You don't have to.
Yeah, but I'm
if
saying,
it's an agreement, it'd be best.
So
it's respect.
So I never respond. Then I don't know. A couple of months later, I see her back. You got a great future. Why you not responding to that? I still ain't respond to it. People like that. They get mad
they
at
fishing. They fishing for you.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know what they gonna do. Yeah. You don't know because you put your power in somebody else's hand. If you give your power away to someone else, you know, maybe you could team up with somebody. Maybe
I do all that stuff you doing. I do it.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. We're all capable and have our own. What does it say? Do you like ice fishing? I do, as a matter of fact. I was gonna say a roughneck. I like roughing it. I like camping. I like hunting, fishing, a lot of things
Where
that
that
you
come
would
from?
say are men.
For that question.
I know people be trying to trip you up on here. They be trying to make you mad, trolling, whatever. I like having
They
fun
trying to
with them,
steal our energy. Trying to
distract
and
us,
distract us for a
But
minute.
see,
So
I
let's stay
love
focused.
being out in nature. I love being out in, the elements and
Let's
being
get
able
back
to
to
tap
the
into
music.
grounding and
We're not gonna
stuff.
let them deter our conversation. So you say you want to
So,
tell us the Joe Clark story.
So yeah, so I had a go-go band back in the day. It wasn't my band; it was my brother's band, and he allowed me to be with them. My brother Jelani, who's also a beat master, calls himself Nat Love.
Okay.
So my brother Nat Love of Precious Motherlove, or Motherlove and Nat Love. So anyway, so we started this band together. I was with him to promote it. I was managing. I was getting shows.
Okay.
And so we had a sponsor. We had the Madness Connection was sponsoring.
Okay.
So every week, every Saturday, we had a show out in Montgomery County. We had the spot that we were doing the show, and we would have two other bands come on with us, and the three of us would pay for the sound guy together. And we actually got the door, but I also had the food and the photography. Anyway, I'm just saying we had a show, right? And so Joe Clark got wind of us. Our drummer, I'm sorry, my conga player went to go play with the Hucklebuck. And then my cousin, who was also sometimes our drummer, went to play with the Hucklebucks. So, we some of our original members were starting to branch off and do some big things. They come back in every once in a while. We'd be, in the mix together with some things. As a matter of fact, we did a little tour with Petworth. The Petworth band show. What was his name? Double.
Skin Tight.
You had him on here. I think it was
Go Billy.
No, the one Crossover. That's who it was. Crossover. So we went on tour with Crossover for a hot second.
You're talking about Rock Steady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was with the Pump, and then he did Crossover. Yeah.
So Pump Lenders, Crossover. I think it was in the Pump Lenders era.
Yeah.
And they had gone to Crossover at some point after that. But
They
anyway,
went to tour and went overseas. Crossover. Push that thing.
Well, they used to take us on the tour bus with them. On the bus, we'd all be on a bus and be going off to wherever we get ready to play at, right? So Joe Clark had gotten us on the bill. Him and Icy Ice were doing these productions, all over the city and whatnot. And so we got invited into the Budweiser Superfest, right? So we were on the bill, the go-go posters and everything. We were on the bill. Prosperity, band and show, blah, blah, blah. But Joe, I was going to say all kinds of words. Let's just say I can say greasy. Joe was very greasy. Wow. He was like, either you do, he pulled some of that Bernstein stuff, that couch stuff. He was like, I need you to do me or I'm pulling your board off the bill, right? So I'm thinking, he told me either we get busy or I'm pulling your boys off the show, off the bill. He put it to me like that, even though he was already on the posters and everything. But I told him, I said, first off, I'm not like that. I've never been like that. I'm never gonna be like that. That's not how I operate. Business ain't got nothing to do with the other. So if that's how you operate, peace. I don't need this. Right. I can do my own thing. Matter of fact, because for real, we were promoting our own shows. We were paying for our own venues. We hired our own sound man. Ron was our sound man. He bought in a truck full of sound. Because a lot of times.
I know Joe Clark.
Did you? You had your own bad experience or story with him?
I had experience with him, but it really wasn't. It wasn't bad. It was like, it all depends on what you call bad. I knew him because he was a promoter. I was playing with Petworth, and he used to throw shows down at Howard Gate. Mm-hmm. I see him coming and going. You know what I'm saying? I heard stories, whatever, but who wasn't damn near back then? Probably right there in the day, doing stuff. They get in a position, congressmen, politicians, and they figure, okay, I got some power, so when you use me, got to do something to just power.
But that's about the record industry now. That's why it's falling apart because they did so much behind the scenes, the unseen stuff, secret stuff.
That ain't even nothing new.
So, power moves, you know what I'm saying? Using their powers.
Yeah. So like I said, I heard stories of this, and I'm still hearing stories to the day. So you know that energy, you did right by standing up.
No, I wasn't gonna get hooked up into that.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, see, my mom, with my grandfather being Ike and Tina Turner's manager, okay, with my father doing promotions and bringing bands into town, because Wilmer's Park was my uncle's park. They did sell the land, but Wilmer's Park, we were giving shows at Wilmer's Park all the time and bringing artists to town. I say we, my dad, and my grandfather, he had people I met. The Four Tops, I met the Temptations, I met Aretha Franklin, Roberta Flack. Okay. I met a whole bunch of Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder. I met a whole bunch of, big players back in the day because my grandfather also had, let me tell you this, let me get it out there, Wings and Wings, Wings and Things, and Wings and More Wings. He was managing Ike and Tina Turner, but he also had all these businesses. Right, Wings and Wings, Wings and Things.
Keep turning that money.
His wing shop was, my grandmother made sauces. My grandmother made mumble sauce. And it's on the internet. They actually credit his wing shop, Wings and Wings, Wings and More, Wings and Wings, Wings and Things, Wings and More Wings. They Bill Cosby credited it, and some dude in Chicago and some other ladies, they credited my grandfather's shop as being the first place where they got on 7th and T Street, where they had gotten mumbo sauce.
I used to go there Wings and Things on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they somebody
he sold it to Asian people.
Yeah,
he sold it. My grandmother sold it to some Asian people when he passed. We didn't know. She made all of us, she made financial contributions to all the families. She distributed because they was cooking so much chicken, making so much chicken. We had to buy big freezers, not a stand-up freezer, to house how much. She divided the chicken up between all of these families, all of our families. We had chicken for years in the freezer. I don't know if it had shelf life properly, whatever, but I know one thing. I got tired of chicken. We were eating chicken to the point where when I went to college, I stopped eating chicken. Because I also started thinking about that word, chicken. Chicken head, but that's us. We could be taking on attributes of chicken because we eating chicken.
I can say I'm a vegan.
So back to this.
Playing with everything. Eating with fingers. Let's stay on Joe Clark.
So the story was, Joe Clark. I did turn him down. He did, break that show with us. But I had gotten on to where my family was involved in music, and I had gotten a scholarship.
So you ain't had no more dealings with him after that.
With Joe. After that, well, my band did want to go, knock him off and everything, unalive him. And it took a long while. We kept doing our show. So we stayed out of his way and he stayed out of our way. But, my fellas, they really, eventually we did break up. We talking about doing a reunion now. We had a rehearsal a couple of weeks ago at a studio over in Mount Rainier. Which we were inviting all of the old members, and you know how at this age members are falling off. Joe Clark is gone. Icy Ice, is he gone?
I don't know. I remember that name, Ice.
Oh, okay. They did a lot of productions together.
I know Dave Rubin gone.
That's Joe Chuck. Clark. That's the Chuck guy, right?
Well, he promoted Dave Rubin. They put the Go-Go's. Mm-hmm. They hired Chuck. And see, that was my incident with Joe Clark. Mm-hmm. I had bought him a drink one time. He never paid me for the drink. So the Masonic Temple,
oh, he thinking he getting special treatment.
Nah, the big guy, he rested in peace too. Big Al. Mm-hmm. He used to be security. Mm-hmm. He always let me go in because he know me and Chuck. Yes. Mm-hmm. So he let me go in. Joe Clark, hold up, what you doing? I'll say, we cool with Chuck Neff. I ain't no damn Chuck Neff. Let's go. He played with Pepper. I know him. Made a big thing out of it, right? So I told him I went on paid. We half time already paid. And so he's kicking it, whatever. Joe Clark came in and said, I told Chuck, I said, man, who Joe Clark? Okay. I said, what? Man, he cussed Joe Clark out. Made Joe Clark give my money back.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, he owed me for a drink, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't even want to say the words. Yeah. But Joe Clark feel
he
bad.
lit into him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I ain't never had no more problem out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Basically, he told me, F him, won't get no shit.
See, you know what? I should have went and told our sponsors. I should have went and told
You shouldn't have let it ride
Tyrone
like
and them
that.
over there at the Madness Connection, because I could have let them handle it in a man-to-man thing, because we were young. It would have been a boys to the man thing. They were just going to go up and wreck this out, wreck the spot.
Yeah.
But had I had the intelligence that I have now about how to handle things, I would have sent Tyrone and all them from Madness Connection going over there. Because they were our sponsors. It too. Yeah, they were our sponsors. And like I said, every week we went in there and we got gear. And they didn't charge us nothing. Because, we was shouting them out.
This is the first time you telling this story?
That whole thing. Oh, gosh, that was in the 90s. Yeah, that was in the 90s.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That was around the time my daughter was born. 30 years ago, 30-some years ago.
May he rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of good things as far as finding location.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Except Go-Go. But see, that's the whole thing. Go-Go has a bad reputation for people like him getting involved in it, right? That's the grassroots of, some of the grassroots of that we started growing out from was that kind of industry. Our industry was treated like that, but that's because the industry at the top was treated like that too. Now, it was a trickle-down effect. The street had the same sort of
I'm gonna tell you something.
energy.
The same thing that's going on right now today. Like, it may not be that scenario as promoter trying to steal young female manager. It could be promoter not letting certain bands get on the show because they cool with the band owner, leader of the band, and leader of the band say, look, I don't want to play with this band. That the promoter got to get permission. Certain band owners put certain bands on the ticket.
That's how it is.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying every situation, but a lot of that,
times when it's
you
like
see
that.
bands playing 3 sets.
Well, sometimes we did.
I mean, you playing 3 sets, and you got 500 go-go bands, and you're a popular band, and you playing 3 sets.
It could be because of how much they paying them. They can't afford to pay 3 bands.
But no, you got some bands that I know personally
that are selfish.
Will come and play free.
True.
And just for the exposure.
They should.
When I first started my band,
that's how we got to do something.
When I first started when I had New Dimension, our first 2 shows, we played three shows, right? For Gavin Mason. Played the first show was on the rooftop. We did it for the city. Then we ended up getting a show from that show that paid $980. Other 2 shows played at the Oasis, opened up for and didn't get paid. Right? But what we did get, video footage, and we got.
That's what I was gonna say. You get that
our name out there.
Live stream.
So that's why I did it. But there's a lot of bands that would love for a bigger band to put them on the show. But then again, a lot of the bigger bands now too.
You don't want to play with them.
It ain't that. Is that promoters talent?
Okay.
They deal with the promoters.
So it's all about moves on the board.
Yeah,
everybody, where they at on the
and the
scheme or the chessboard.
It's politics. I got this. I work hard to get this, and this is mine.
But see, that's that crab in the barrel thing that people are trying to climb up on each other. That's not it per se. Once you finish, it's never gonna go
in this society. I don't think it's gonna go away. We get in the golden age now, so I know it's gonna go away. But it's always gonna be a level that's gonna be there. When we here, the 144 being that golden age, it's still gonna be, I believe, this negative stuff going on. You just hopefully you raise your frequency when you don't have to be in that realm. You feel me? Because we can't. Everybody ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get stuck.
So
going back, and people just they're not gonna get it.
Okay, well, I want to go back to one more music reference because I remember I was saying I had an opportunity. My family was in the
Share
music.
me that live. My phone.
Oh, okay.
Once you get finished,
okay.
I want to be some piece.
Okay, it's on my page. It'll be on my live section. Heart Happy Hour, One Love and Wellness, Ashe. Precious Motherlove, season 5, Heart Happy Hour. But yeah, so I was saying about my musical experience, my musical background. So I was into music. Music was in my blood. Music was in my family.
Was that the only bad experience you
had? No.
Okay.
Because I had gotten
before you go there, you was getting ready to say something else, but I was thinking, because like I said, it's a whole lot of, for a female too, managing in this business dominated by males. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely a male-driven business, but that's not to say that the women aren't drawn into doing the sexual favor stuff. Meaning on the other end, like, dude, if you don't, give me whatever I want.
You think that's being played out?
I believe so too. I believe the women are doing just as
my
much.
Thing is, if a woman gotta do that, man, that's terrible.
But see, this is the thing. The woman does have that same sort of nature as far as eroticism, and sometimes based on your mental, your mental capabilities or your mental stability. You may have, like, some people were sexually abused, or they will sexually abuse someone, but it has a lot to do with what they're, like how they're taught about sex and what context that they're taught. Some people it has a high value and it's sacred. Some people it's not as high of a value on their list. if the average person is not into the sacred energy of that interaction, we're that's a sacred place. The Tao of sexism, that actually there's some sexual positions that are healing. There are some sexual exercises that are not only conjure up certain energy or help you generate certain energy, they also help you get rid of certain things or heal or rebalance or check certain kinds of ailments within your physical. That is a sacred activity that we bastardize in ways that most people don't get the value out of it. But what I'm saying is that women have as high of a libido as a lot of men do, only men are allowed to pursue it. And if a woman pursues it, they look at them a whole different way. But we both have a high libido, because if a man releases however many trillions of semen each time that he has an ejaculation, and Taoism does talk about ejaculation, but if he ejaculates this many sperm, and all of them got to find their way up there to it and fight to get that one egg, or a couple of them get to that egg and they have however many twins or more. But my thought is that once they do, though we both have, even though we have a certain amount of eggs, and the men have a certain amount of, I don't know if they found that we regenerate eggs or if we only born with a certain amount of eggs. The reason why I say that is they can say what they want to. They didn't think our brain was going to ever regrow brain cells, but they found out that, because of these drugs, this is your brain on drugs, you're killing your brain cells. But we now find out we regenerate our brain cells. So if the semen is, they're saying we only born with this amount, or eggs or semen, who knows that we might be regenerating all of that. You never know. You can't. The science of this stuff, they tell us what they want us to know so we can think the way they want us to think. But what I'm saying is that the women and the men, we both have high libidos, and I know that because I feel like at a certain age, my hormones went berserk, and I was like, just like if the wind blew, which is why I say for men, if they were not circumcised, they would have a whole different view. They have something to stay clean. They would have something that might have a certain fragrance to it. They would have something that would give them a certain amount of leeway time going into, because you know how a woman has to moisturize a bit. The man would have to get, in shape in the position where he would actually be able to, fornicate or whatever, procreate. So, but I'm saying all these things to say that there are women in the industry that have followed the suit of what the men were doing, because that's what they were told, that that's how a boss bitch acts. They were taught that's how a boss would act. And whether it was a boss woman or a boss man, these are the way boss people act. And that being a brainwash mindset, we're gonna, follow suit and figure that's the industry. But see, this is the golden age now. We taking all that back. Cat Williams was like, and I will have to take this from Red and Blue Pill because I watched them last night. They, Blue Pill was talking about, Cat Williams. He was like, he went into the church and turned the tables over. You guys are doing, this and bastardizing the whole system. And, the temple is sacred, but at the same time, so he kicked off, that was January. Cat Williams kicked off a whole lot of things where people are trying to come clean from. If they had their hands dirty in some things, they're trying to clean up their act now, or even recognizing that that's not the way they should continue to act. Like that's not the good and right way to pursue and project their energy and their talent.
I just look at all that as being an age of Aquarius, going into the golden age.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is going to be found out. That's why I tell people doing some sneaky stuff. Stop.
It's gonna come out in
a
the
lot
light.
of people already caught their karma, catching their karma. And karma is always not a bad thing. Got good, put in the good work, get some good karma.
Absolutely.
If you put in that bad work, some people like, damn, looking back, like how much more of this shit I gotta catch? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Big people in the industry. And out the industry, huh?
Could be their other lives they got karma coming back, which is why they came back in the first place. But you're right. You either plant good energy or you plant bad energy, and that's what you're gonna get back. Pressed down, multiplied, and overflowing.
Yeah. So that's why, never too late to start planting a good seed. And that's the whole purpose that I do the show. I'm trying to think.
Eye on the city.
And teach stuff to people that wouldn't normally know. And other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm 61, you ain't turning 62. I've been around.
Are you
a lot.
older than me? Okay.
Yeah, and
I thought you were younger than me.
No, I'm 60. I'll be October the 3rd. I'll be 62. I ain't even gonna ask you that.
Oh no, don't you dare! Don't you dare!
And I seen a lot. I've been on both sides of the fence. I was that bad guy, and I'm trying to be that good guy. But don't ever get it twisted.
I think you gotta go through the dark to get to the light. You gotta go through them dark ages.
Light came out of the darkness.
Energy.
That's in the word. Out of the darkness came the light.
Because I've had some street time too, so, and I went to private school. I was living in a nice neighborhood, but because I was being sheltered in some ways, I felt like I had to get out and get exposed to. Well, my mom did expose me to the ghetto because I had family members that were there, and she didn't want, she wasn't discriminating. Yeah. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn in the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we down in the big league. It's our turn at bat. As long as we here, you and me, baby, ain't nothing wrong with that. I said we're moving on up.
You didn't even know we was going.
Yeah, but I grew up in nice neighborhoods with nice luxuries and amenities. But I had the exposure to the inner city mindset because I had family members that my mother would not discriminate against. You like you going over to this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. You got to get exposure to
that was your
stuff.
song. That was your song, right? What we just sung.
Good times. I mean,
You know what my song was? Grew up in the ghetto, live second rate. In your eyes, we'll sing a song. Hey, places you live and where you stay. Look like
great big alleyway.
You admire all the number but take pimp push and
Big money makers.
Driving big cars, spending
20s and 10s.
Want to go up.
Just like them.
Brother, all that. You know, Chuck used to hit it. But actually, that was Quincy Jones. Think that off the
Ooh,
LP.
oh goodness! In the music industry, talking about Quincy Jones. Do you know that man came out and says he struggles with his identity? You know, when you talk about how do you identify, you know, your gender.
I can believe it because Tupac let us in on some secrets back in the day.
Yes, he did.
That,
but nobody wanted to believe that stuff back then.
But you know, and then he was also addicted to cocaine. But I told you back then. Earlier in the show, what I say, cocaine to make you do something strange for a small piece of change.
But I bet you they were getting some real insightful downloads because they were indulging in those things that took away the outer mind and took you to the inner mind. You know, the hallucination part of it. You know, because you can get it on those trips.
I can say back in the day, I dealt with that before. I can't stand positive.
Okay, you can. I can. I just the same way I see that. Because like ayahuasca.
No, see, I ain't talking about them other drugs.
No, let me tell you though, just the same way. I'm putting them all in the same category.
And then what I did, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. You can't put all.
No, I'm trying to tell you how I think.
If you believe in frequencies,
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, then you come behind me and say what you think. Okay. We say everything is frequency, everything is vibration. Okay, got your uppers. That's your goals, right?
Which all serve a purpose.
No, I ain't saying they don't. I'm just saying you got your upper goals, right? So if something is like this bowl, right? You hear that frequency?
I do.
Then listen.
Right.
2 different bowls, right? They're both singing bowls. Watch this one.
Right.
3 bowls, right? 3 different frequencies. Right? So I couldn't expect this bowl, this frequency, to do with this frequency, even though they all singing bowls. So now if you try to take drugs and say they all do the same thing,
that's not what I said.
But no, I'm just saying you say all drugs. I say cocaine.
I'm about to make
I was separating cocaine from ayahuasca and from marijuana. So what I'm saying is they're all similar drugs. And then I wouldn't even call ayahuasca and marijuana drugs because they grow from the earth.
So cocaine grow from the earth.
Yeah, but cocaine, they add stuff to that. You just ain't got the cocoa plant. When you look at the cocaine and you take that piece out, you not just got that piece. You got other stuff with it. So the point I'm trying to say is that I wouldn't look for the same high as cocaine if I go smoke a joint or if I go drink some Hennessy. They all got, they mind altered, but they got different, they produce different frequencies.
Right. Now, my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Alcohol is a distilled spirit, right? Cocaine is also distilled down to its essence and put in the form of powder or rock or whatever ways that it's distributed. Love boat is embalming fluid. Ayahuasca is from a plant. But what I'm saying is all of these that can induce a hallucinogenic state. You can hallucinate from coke. You can hallucinate from ayahuasca. You can hallucinate from love boat. You can hallucinate if you get drunk enough, because everybody look pretty when you get drunk. Everybody, you think you sound good in the music. So I'm just talking about the fact that they all have a place in altering our mind or allowing us to see through the depths and the dark. Okay? So what I'm saying is...
What if it take you to the dark? I see through it.
So you have to be guided. This is why I'm saying that you need people that can help you do the spiritual work with whatever the product is that they're, becoming a specialist in. There are people who use chocolate. Wait a minute. No, I ain't finished. So, chocolate is even used in the version of some sort of, because it's got caffeine in it. but it's used as a drug too. Now they have cacao party, 75, 95%. But what I'm saying is ayahuasca and love boat, I've done both. Okay. They have the same properties. One is chemical and one is natural. But if I knew back then when I was accessing love boat, you know, I don't know, dippers or golden seal, because they had these different versions of
Can I
it.
say something? Can I squeeze in there with?
So you can get to the same spiritual place with that where it takes you if you were guided properly. I happen to be in a group of people that were doing a spiritual ceremony, and they gave me something that tastes like and had the same effect as Love Boat, and I'm like deja vu like a mug. Okay, why didn't somebody tell me that I could have a spiritual journey back then? That these were the types of things that I should be doing off this kind of elevated, a high. When you say you're getting high, what you doing? You're getting closer to your God self. You're getting closer to the door of death or the brink of the gateway.
Okay. That's mother love, mother love.
Thank you.
Okay. But when I say to that as being an ex person that used drugs, is that everything has frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying frequencies are bad or good, it's everything has a purpose. Right? So with that being said,
Overdose, yeah.
Even if you got crack cocaine, you gotta use baking soda or whatever. You gotta use something else
to purify it.
To not even purify it, just to make it come to that rock, to make it come to that rock form.
They call it cooking it.
So when you're using, you got this and you're using this and probably some other stuff to make that rock form. Then if you're smoking it, hold on, you're not just taking in that cocaine, taking in some other stuff.
Come back.
Then that's when that alchemy and stuff applies. So you can have a bad trip. I ain't be honest, people off the boat, I ain't even never really see them have a good. I say women take out their clothes, run down the street. I say people hit walls, couldn't feel their fists, thought they was invincible. Mm-hmm. This is the stuff I see. Mm-hmm. I ain't never seen nobody in the hood use it for a good cause. Mm-hmm. Now myself, when I smoked the weed, I used to sit back and it used to make me laugh, mm-hmm. And then I get home, stuff mm-hmm. like that.
Mm-hmm. The things that
cocaine made me hurt.
Yeah.
You feel me?
But we can get you there too.
You understand what I'm saying? Drinking, I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying? But all these produce different effects, and I wouldn't sum it up saying.
Well, none of the drugs are at the level where they used to be. Everything has now progressed to high strain levels, high potency levels.
I don't do drugs no more. I can tell you, I can do something. I can do something natural, right? Mm-hmm. Something natural,
like a mushroom.
No, I can do something natural, and it'll alter my state. But like I said, I do things in silent, mm-hmm. but I ain't tell everybody my secret. Right?
Okay.
But it's something natural, mm-hmm. and I don't be high, mm-hmm. but I don't be complete soul. Mm. Feel me? Mm-hmm. But by me being clean so long, mm-hmm. it's a natural substance that can do that.
Well, we have endomorphines in us, just like we have endocannabinoid system. Okay, so our endocannabinoid system is we have receptors. Like I said earlier, we have receptors in our stomach and we have receptors in our brain, and all these different receptors in our body are set up to receive. And that's why these certain drugs affect us a certain way, as well as us being melanated. We have a certain amount of, like, our carbon levels are different. So the way it affects us. But what I'm saying is when they put stuff like dippers or fentanyl or whenever they put stuff in our weed, like coke, crack, what do they call those? Woolies. Yeah, and dippers. Dippers is on tobacco, which is different, and I don't know how our body does receive that, but I do know that I was told that we have nicotine receptors, and maybe they just called it that, but our stomach has receptors which also receives the nicotine, but it also receives the cannabinoid, and our body actually we make cannabinoids. We have natural that's why we have receptors, cannabinoid receptors, and we make cannabinoids. There's two different types that we make, and then we have let me see, AG1 and I don't know. I wrote it down, but I ain't gonna take the time to read it.
Let me say something real quick too. I know we over the time, but the thing is,
okay.
we started. It's a certain way you can breathe, get you in an altered state.
Right. That's part of my gateway meditation.
Okay, so I can do that, and that's just off the breath. And it was something else I was saying before that.
Your natural highs.
It was something you were saying, and I was going to say, but I was
the receptors. The cannabinoid receptors.
But,
types. Okay.
But I'm just saying, it's different things that you can do, For natural highs. So we have an endomorphine system. When you laugh, you produce certain hormones in your body that sort of tickle you. Like our stomach, our tummy has, the solar plexus is when you get tickled, when you get a good feeling, a gut feeling, when you get the butterflies, it has different moods it responds to. Like sometimes if you get so upset, you lose your appetite. So your stomach is one of your sensor and receptor areas as well. But because we are able to receive and transmute, these things in our body, they serve a certain purpose in how we operate. But we have natural ways of inducing our own high. Like some people get high off chocolate, some people get high off sugar, some people get high off the breathing, but the body is set to receive these things. Like that's a natural state for us. I played this video earlier. Somebody showed a baby, and the baby's eyes, they wasn't focused, and then all of a sudden they was focused, and then they started looking up into their, and looking like they was high. And then start smiling like, yeah, man, I'm just riding the tide of the high, right? But it was a baby. The baby ain't high. But the baby's high on life, high on a natural high. And we have those natural highs. Yeah.
We have that.
But for the average person out there, with me, I won't say go out there and start experimenting with drugs. No. If you want to do that, you can. But I'm just saying, certain drugs that I know about and I ain't see no good come from, that's just me.
Happy 420 day. Just want to make sure I get that in there again. I was a Parliament Funketeer. If you were at the Capitol Center at any of the Parliament shows, if you was a smoker
I was there.
Or not a smoker, you caught a contact.
I was there.
We had our movie
station. No, I ain't talking about weed or nothing. I'm just saying it's 420 day. I'm just giving it. So you say 420, everything
today?
Good. That's what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is today is weed day.
Okay.
Today is weed day, so I'm just giving more insight and feeding more energy on that note because it's not going to be as applicable on other days. But I do remember back in the day, the weed we had back then that was grown, because half my neighborhood was Jamaicans and they were growing their own. So the weed back in the day is nowhere near like it is today. But Parliament made sure that your mind was in a position where you were able to receive the higher messages that they were.
I remember right there in the day, I was at the RFK Stadium. It was I don't know if it was Human kind of State. I think that was down on. But we was at the RFK Stadium, and there was this stuff called Acapulco Gold. I hit that
Colombian Red.
I hit that zone like 2 times on the field, and why I do that? It just seemed like some said, shh. I just said it like
got stuck.
The speakers was like the big speakers, like you be in a home, and I was just sitting there, and I could see somebody say, "You all right? You all right?" And it sounded like a far distance. But I was around some friends, so they took me up, set me down on like the row of seats. Nah, shit. I stayed high party till the show was over. But I sat in them seats. But we was out on the field. And if they got the money and shit, I couldn't do nothing. I was like this. I was
see, that's what I'm saying. Weed has different effects on different people. I know people who have hit their head who have had head injuries, and when they smoke,
uh,
or they might have a little mental imbalance, or they might have a little difficulty with, I don't know if it's vertigo or schizophrenia, but if they have anything different going on in their brain and they smoke, they go into la la land. I know one guy was like Rain Man.
and I think what happened to me, not playing with Pat, was I couldn't smoke weed play. I couldn't focus. I focused down.
I had a girl.
So I had to wait till I get finished playing, and then I would smoke it going or something.
Right. So you learn yourself, science of self. So you know your limitations, you know your capabilities. You know you can take a sip or you can't take a sip in certain situations. You can take a puff or you can't take a puff in certain situations. Well, my girlfriend, when she got indulged, she would be like fairy tale. She would be like Tinkerbell. She would be like Lotus Flower. She would be singing show tunes. She went to a whole nother place. She was not herself any longer. She became someone else. My husband, remember I brought my husband here with me on the show? The table was turned this way at the time.
Oh, I know that's your husband.
Yeah, we had a spiritual marriage, and he's passed. God rest his soul. He passed as well. His daughter is supposed to be doing a memorial for him. Asar or Marvin, whichever one you call him, but Asar, when he indulged, he went to a whole nother place. I hate that. Well, I can't tell the story. He told me the story, but if I tell the story and it goes public, it might be a problem. You know, because some people might get upset behind it. But
you can tell me all kinds.
He actually, because of what happened, it took him to his demise. It affected his brain, and because his brain started having concerns, because of the concerns that had been introduced to his brain, because of that, it was downhill after that, you know. And his family was not as supportive as would hope in some cases. For, you know, he was a lot to handle. He was a lot. You know, you had to know how he was, you know, how people handle lions. You had to know how to handle him. Oh, you got some business to take care of.
Yeah, finish out your thoughts. I'm gonna read this text.
Okay, so my husband was somebody who was affected by the whatever is in the THC, the CBD, whatever is in the marijuana, the cannabis that he was smoking. Again, happy Cannabis Day. Happy Doggone Day. Happy Serious Day. But, you know, I do feel as though they're trying to use the fact that we have these this endo or cannabinoid receptor system. I believe that is why they have engineered the newest strains in the directions. You remember that Higher Education? You remember? The movie that Method Man was in, Higher Education. He had all these strains of things that were supposedly to help this and help that and help this. I believe in that because the way the Indians did their plants, their medicinal plants, you know, and our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, and whoever our family members were, that was the local or the family doctor, the family go-to person for what do you call those? The women's wives' tales, remedies, you know. So those are things that our grandmothers, like castor oil. Remember we used to.
Like I said, I remember.
Witch
hazel.
hazel.
I'm a spiritual person. I believe in magic. I'm for thinking outside the box. But I go with what works for me. I know what works for other people might be different.
Right.
And I don't knock nobody's thing.
Well, you to the point where you know what getting high is, but you have a way of getting in touch with your natural high.
Yeah.
And so you have made the choice. That's the way you choose to treat your vessel.
Right.
Well, some have not yet mastered the art of getting to that place of inducing their own high. I mean, I myself like to do the laughter therapy. I actually have one of my, what we're going to do at the full moon. I have a laughter session.
Okay.
Because we're going to do the laughter breath. I don't want to do a whole lot of structured anything because we're dealing with people who already have their own ritual practices, their own practices that they would apply themselves. So we can do a few things together, but I have a feeling they're going to want to do things on their own by themselves. They're not going to be necessarily having to follow a schedule of what we do. We all can go off and do our own thing. You have the yard that we're using. You have a lot of space that you can apply your practices to. You can go off in an area and be, with yourself, with your own little whatever setup. Whatever is for you is for you.
Right.
Science itself is very important. Get to know what works for you, what your limits are, what your parameters are, what helps you get to the next levels. So, but yeah, the natural, I love being able to induce a natural high with the breathing. And that's what some of the laughter thing is about. Is first off, it is a breathing technique that I use, but I actually induce it from some actual funny things to laugh at. So bringing those two things together is very tickling and can induce a hallucinogenic environment. If we all start laughing, you know how people just fall out laughing?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that.
Let's
This Tuesday, because we just got the word, say we're going a little over.
Okay.
So Tuesday, it's 7 or 7:30.
Ain't that something? I think it's 7 to 9:30. That's what it is.
I know it's
7,
ended 9:30.
just before dusk.
Okay.
Before dusk. And the last note, because that solar eclipse that I want to make, because I know he's wrapping it up, but that there is a battle between the light and the dark. And that solar eclipse was like a culmination of what was happening in our light. Every day, Apophis, which is the name of the rockets that went up, and Ra have a dusk to dawn cycle that they continue to cycle through over the power. So the light and the dark is continuing. But it's been activated in us, and it's time for us to start applying some of our apps and utilizing what's in the light and our energy and our frequency and our way of influencing things.
Yeah, and we will record some of the stuff there, which
I may even do a little bit of live. I may do a few segments.
Yeah, I might go live too. That's one thing.
Yeah. Do that. That's what I was trying to say. You ain't got to record it. You can go back and use it.
Actually, he gonna post it always.
Right.
But it's like when I have it right in my phone, I can edit it and put it better because it's in the phone. But either way it go, we gonna have the clips out. So we want to thank you for
One Love and Wellness
being a special guest.
Thank you. Yes. And am I monthly? What is my?
It's whenever.
Okay, because it's been twice this month, but it's usually monthly.
I would like it to be more. Like I said, I know people, but certain don't bring a knowledge that you.
Okay.
Or
well, I'd like to be able to be one to interview people to ask certain questions too.
Yeah.
So perhaps, you may see me a little more, and we'll see how that all goes. But that's what I went to school for, broadcast journalism. So journalism is something that comes naturally as far as what my inquisitive mind wants to know. So and I've always been in the environments that I'm in. People always say, "Oh, you ask such great questions," because Rich from Black Magic 363, he's a Virgo too, very detailed thinker. He asks great questions.
Right.
But that's the same way I feel about my questions. Not that I'm comparing me to him, but just the fact of what he does and how he does it. I see me doing that in my way.
Everybody got to do it in their own. And with that being said, man, we be here next Saturday. I have special guests coming, so it's gonna be a good show, and you're welcome to come if you're free. Her name Tempest. She's an artist, singer, bring paint. We probably bring a little band out there in the lobby.
Ooh, nice. Live music.
Just to do a little something.
Yeah, beautiful. Am I singing with you coming up soon? Did we say something about your
25th,
next show?
Okay,
so we gotta invite me to rehearsal and stuff. Okay, we're gonna perform together.
All right, so
I kicked off his career when he restarted his drumming career. Didn't I help get that started? We'll talk about that next time. Ashe, One Love and Wellness. Thank you, family. We'll see you again soon. Bralaw Precious Motherlove, Heart Happy Hour, Season 5. And I'll tell you more about that 5 soon. Ashe. Got stories.